Hello and welcome everyone to the S13 Prospect Draft. Just adjusting my sound settings so you can hear the background music as well as myself. Hopefully, we'll be joined by someone else here in the booth, holiday booth, later today. But right now, it's just me. My name is Canadus. I'm the commissioner of the SSL, and I will take you through this prospect draft that has occurred in the past week. We saw the SSL Academy end on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, and it was a close one. We saw Atletico Medellin securing the victory by winning against North Shore United, and Stockholm's IK, the second player team, if you want to call it like that, came in third after drawing. Did it draw? After missing out on the first spot by just a win or just a couple of points. But very interesting to see how the S13 prospects have fared in the academy, and they will look to join the SSL League proper next season when we move to Football Manager 24. But let's get down to it. We have a couple of picks that we will make in this draft. We will have like 15 picks in total. And as you can see here on the board, there are already some passes where a team has decided that they no longer want to select any players. So they have already been marked. So we will go to the 17th pick. So the first pick of the third round this time. But without further ado, we have the first pick to announce. And that's CF Catalunya. And they will select Ljubika Kamenova, the user Valpix. Valpix has been a prominent member here in the SSL, been a manager, a commentator with the player Gavin Miller in the previous iteration of their career, and has now recreated as Ljubika Kavinova, a left defender who played for Stockholm's IK last season in the academy. Put up 18 appearances, averaged 7.4 in a rating, and scored 2 goals. And one of those goals was determined to be Stockholm's goal of the season, as we saw in the recap. So Kamenova is a defender, has done a lot of defensive actions, as we can see on the last row here. DFA stands for defensive actions, which are interceptions, clearances, headers, and there was something else. Oh, tackles. Yes, key tackles was also included in that calculation. I realize now that there might be some issue with the audio. Let me know if there is an issue in the comments or in the chat. I'll try to fix it if I realize what's wrong. Anyways, Kamenova, Valpix, a great user, and I think Catalunya is going to see something great coming out of this pick. Oh, right, before I was distracted by the sound issues. They're Kamenova's 2 goals, so even though that they are a defender, they were in spots during the academy games where they actually had some really good chances at goal, and their shot is impeccable. Like I mentioned before, one of the goals of the season was Kamenova's, and I believe the other one as well was just as good, coming in with a powerful shot in the top corner. So Catalunya and Seoul are definitely going to get a good offensively minded defender here in this pick. But great pickup by Catalonia and Seoul. Moving on to the next pick number 2, we have, I believe that is Schwarzwälder, if I can look at my screen correctly. Yes, it's Schwarzwälder with pick number 2, and they select Jihao Wang, the user Puppy. So, central midfielder, and we will see here today that there are a lot of midfielders present in the S13 class. And Wang is now the first midfielder getting taken off the board. Wang played for Atletico Medellin, the winners of the SSL Academy. Played in all 18 appearances, got an average rating of 7.17, but was situated a bit further behind the offensive side here. So did a lot of chances, created 6 chances, and provided 3 goals for the team by themselves. A bit different compared to Kamenova in terms of defensive actions, but you don't really expect a central midfielder to have the same type of values or the same amount of defensive actions as you would a defender. Shoots from distance, tries killer's balls often, so maybe looks like a midfielder that's situated a bit in the middle of the pack, trying to get shots from afar when they have the chance, or at least try to give the offensive strikers and offensive midfielders the chance to run into space and deliver a killer ball to them. So a playmaker coming into Schwarzwälder and Montreal United at pick number 2. For pick number 3, we have the reigning champions of the major leagues, Reykjavik United, and they will select Alessandro Del Pirlo, the user Zune16. So Zune has been really active in the Academy chat, and you will probably see more of Zune in that channel in the upcoming seasons. Another midfielder in this class, or from this class, central attacking midfielder compared to Wang, who was a central midfielder. And Del Pirlo plays a bit more offensively minded. We saw him in Stockholm playing as a shadow striker, so a central attacking midfielder that is essentially going in as a second striker, helping out in the offensive side of the pitch. And from these 18 appearances that Del Pirlo played with Stockholm in the academy, he had 4 goals and 3 chances. And even though he's an offensive-minded midfielder, there are still a lot of defensive actions. So I think with some of these more offensively minded players, you get a lot of defensive actions in the offensive end, or rather, what you would consider in the calculations as defensive actions. For instance, key headers. So key headers can be both in the offensive and defensive end. And I believe that's why the defensive actions here are a bit larger than they were for the earlier pick, Jihao Wang. The traits gets forward whenever possible and moves into channels. Really suits up well with the Shadow Striker style, where they are essentially just helping out the striker of the team with additional space or additional runs, or just trying to draw the defenders so that the striker can do what they are expected to do. The Reykjavik is getting a very good offensive threat here in Alessandro Del Pirlo. Next up, we have pick number 4. And let's see if we see something. Let's see in the chat. Oh, there's chats in the Discord. Okay. Nothing really directed to the stream right now. But let's move on to pick number 4. Let's see who we have there for Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires selects Nicolas Munoz, the user Captain Gatsby, another Medellin user or another Medellin player who won the academy last season. Central defensive midfielder. So we have the central midfielder, we have the attacking midfielder, and now we have the defensive midfielder going 3 picks in a row here. 18 appearances, an average rating of 7.15, which is good. You would expect a above average game to have an average rating of above 7 or somewhere around there, maybe above 6.8. So anything about above 7 in an average rating on over the entire season is really good. No goals, but 4 chances created and 63 defensive actions. And with the strength and passing, Munoz is looking to be a bit more of a playmaking or a setup kind of player that closes down on the opposition, takes the ball back, and just sets up the counterattack for the team. So Buenos Aires is getting a good midfield engine for the upcoming seasons. The trade winds up opponents is a bit fun. We haven't really had that in the league for. I think we implemented that or we added that just last season, so we haven't really seen how that actually affects the engine. So it's interesting. It would be interesting to see whether or not that would, I don't know, increase the morale of the team, or at least maybe give the opposition's players, maybe they are put in a what do you call it? In a situation where they don't handle the pressure, let's say. So winds up opponents is a very interesting trait here that Munoz has. Four picks, and we're halfway through the first round. 3 central midfielders have gone and 1 defender. And now it's up to Catalunya. But the previous, or rather the original owner of this pick was not Catalunya. So we have a trade to announce. And in this trade, we see Catalunya trading with União Sao Paulo. And Catalunya sends the 9th overall pick in this draft. And that should be an S14 Catalunya first that they are sending as well. So 2 first round picks for União Sao Paulo's first round pick in this draft. So 5th overall is what they are getting in return for the other 2 picks. So Catalunya takes over 5th overall, and Sao Paulo gets 9th overall and an additional first round pick next season. So with the 5th overall pick that Catalunya now has acquired, they select Amordello, the user Sonic Gamal. Sonic, too small text, so I don't know if that's an I or if that's another L. Sonic Gmail. That sounds more reasonable than Sonic Gamal. Another central midfielder getting off the board. So 4 central midfielders getting picked now in the first 5 picks of the draft. Dello is speedy. You can see there from the acceleration pace at 16 already. And argues with officials and another player that has taken the winds up opponents. So essentially, this is a player who is just going to run around the opposition, trying to argue with everyone except their own teammates, it seems. Played 18 appearances for Stockholm last season in the academy, an average rating of 6.71. Chances created, 5, no goals, but definitely have been giving his teammates the chance to put some goals in the net. Had some defensive actions as well, 43 in total. and that includes tackles, headers, interceptions, and clearances. So a very well-rounded type of central midfielder is joining Catalonia here again. So that's the second player Catalonia picks up in this draft, with Kamanova being the first, Dello being the second. So they are trying to build from the bottom, it seems, build from the defense and moving on up. So let's see if they have any more picks this draft and what they will select with those. Maybe a central attacking midfielder now in the upcoming picks that they have. But Amore Dello going to Catalunya and Seoul as the 5th overall pick. 6th overall, we have Reykjavik again with another pick in this draft. The reigning champions, as I mentioned before, and both Reykjavik won the major leagues and Red Star Laos won the minor leagues. So very successful organization last season, and maybe these picks are giving them, or will be giving them, the chance to try to keep up that success in the upcoming seasons. Pick number 6 is Brickwall Jr., the first goalkeeper to come off the board. Played for Atletico Medellin, and unfortunately the statistics here doesn't reflect goalkeepers, but we've, if I remember correctly, Brickwall was the league leader in clean sheets in the academy season. So very stalwart, or rather a very, as the name alludes to, a brick wall, essentially, when it comes to the keeper's position. So Reykjavik and Laos will certainly see a improvement in goal. I know that Laos... Wait, does Laos have a goalkeeper? I think they have a goalkeeper, but they might be inactive now, if I remember correctly. And Reykjavik has Scott Sterling, who is a season 1 player, which means that they are heavy into regression. So they need to bring up youth, some type of youth for that position, to try to keep their success going. And we saw Brickwall now in the YouTube chat, apparently as an SMJHL Simmer first, but then the correct user appeared. But congratulations to Brickwall joining the minor and major league champions with pick number 6. Pick number 7, we have Tokyo Sports Club that will make their first selection in this draft. And they select Eric Bierman, another central midfielder, the user Durodo. Yeah, I think that's correct. Durodo. A German player, so played for Stockholm last season in the academy. Did really well, an average rating of 7.06, and we saw the previous players from Stockholm usually had around just under 7. So one of the players that has really stood out for Stockholm. A very well-rounded build with strength, tackling, and aggression at 13, as we can see here in the strengths, which means that usually all of the other attributes are also around 12 and 13, with the amount of TP that they have earned. A defensively minded midfielder. Defensive actions in the academy was 91. And if I remember correctly, Bierman likes to tackle, and traits to accompany that type of sentiment. Dives into tackles. We saw a lot of slide tackles in the previous academy games. Plays short, simple passes as well. So maybe not a player who wants to stay a lot on the ball. Just maybe try to distribute it to his teammates. But Eric Bierman goes to Tokyo and the minor league affiliate Cairo for next season at pick number 7. We have the final pick of the first round, and that is Reykjavik again with a selection. Reykjavik with 3 selections now in the first round. And they will select from Stockholm Eco again, Stefan Trummer, the user Ubergestern. Ubergestern, yeah. Another central midfielder. There are too many central midfielders. But good thing that they are being distributed to all of the teams in the SSL. We have Trummer came into the season a bit later than the previous ones, with 13 appearances compared to 18 that we saw in the previous ones. But managed to really make an impact with 67 defensive actions during those appearances. Decisions 13, pace 12, strength 12, runs with ball rarely as a trait, and marks opponent tightly. So a more defensively minded midfielder here again that tries to, or wants to rather, maybe pass and hit or tackle the opposition more than make some good passing plays. So Reykjavik has now picked up a central attacking midfielder in Del Pirlo. They picked up a goalkeeper in Brickwall and another central defensive midfielder in Stefan Trummer. So trying to really secure the central midfield here in this draft. That concludes the first round. So if we can look at the here, if we can look at the summary here, we see that we have a couple of picks remaining. We see that Reykjavik has picked 3 times, Catalonia has picked twice, and some other teams have picked a single time. Next up, we will have União Sao Paulo for their first pick this draft, then Schwarzwälder, Hollywood, Buenos Aires again, Hollywood again, and then Tokyo and Catalonia to round off this draft. But 6 central midfielders coming off the board in the first round, albeit that there is probably, I think, a majority central midfielders in the class overall, but so many midfielders coming in or coming off the board and coming into teams for next season.
Still quite a lot. Well,
oh, welcome, Project Saint.
Sorry about that. Hoping I'm not too late.
No, you are not too late. Do you have? How long have you been listening? Do you have any thoughts about the first round recap here?
Well, just only managed to get around in time here, but as you said, though, just a heavily plenty of midfielders in, and I have to be honest, that one's gonna be quite a shock, but also shouldn't be too much because, in a way, it's going to be needed because of what will need to change. Just we are coming over to a change of eras here, and in a way, centre midfield makes plenty of sense considering the vast amount of players in those positions who might be going out in a year or 2.
Yeah, for sure. I think season 1 and 2, or those classes, I don't have the distribution of positions in front of me right now, but I think that there is a lot of players being heavily regressed right now. So definitely a time for the youth to come in and take over.
time of change indeed.
Yes. Okay, so let's see here. We have the first round done. We are going into the second round with pick number 9, and that's União Sao Paulo. And with pick number 9, Sao Paulo selects Sami Buhum, the user BH Sami, a left attacking midfielder. So no longer a central midfielder, but we're sticking in the midfield. Came in a bit late in the season, only was able to play in 7 appearances, but during those 7 appearances made 3 goals for Atletico Medellin. And I believe in one of the first games, Buhum made a goal and an assist, so really made an impact from the start in Atletico Medellin in the academy.
Proof that you can never start too late when it comes to showing off and making an impact.
Correct.
As said, as you said, like coming in late but picking off 3 goals in 7 appearances for a winger, that's pretty good, and a breath of fresh air coming out in terms of this draft as well, moving away from away from all the center midfield picks, but still considering that the wing is still one of the most important positions in the SSL. I say that Bohum will have plenty of opportunities coming their way, especially with how pacey they have set themselves out to start out with.
Yeah, pace 16, acceleration 13, and agility 11. Bohum is really going to run up and down the wing here for Paris in the minor leagues, or maybe even Sao Paulo in the major leagues, depending on how the roster next season will look like. 362 TPE, if I'm reading that screen correctly. So there looks like they haven't claimed, for instance, the training camp and the catch-up TPE yet. So they have a bunch of TPE remaining that is just waiting to be claimed and waiting to be distributed towards the attributes of the player. So very good potential here for Bohum to make an impact next season, as well as they did in the academy last season.
Go and do it. Get your TP.
And you will hopefully, or you will be able to get some help with that from either the academy. You're still going to be there for a couple of more days, a couple of weeks until the next season starts, or with the new team, with the new manager of Sao Paulo, or the teammates you will be joining next season. But Sami Buhum going to União Sao Paulo with pick number 9. Moving on to pick number 10, we have Schwarzwälder coming up with their second pick in this draft. And they select Borat Borat, the Kazakh player, user Cloud Robot, a central defender.
Yes, very nice.
You commentators are going to have a field day.
Oh gosh, I think we will. Yeah, many classic jokes come around, but I don't think his defending would be one to say much. Pretty balanced. Only starting with 12 tackling and well, good to stay neutral on some things, but yeah, good pickup for Schwarzfeld. It's been interesting with 350 TP only, but that can always be changed and always be picked up. You never know.
Yeah. And I believe, if I remember correctly, Cloud Robot joined in the last 2 weeks of the league, which means that one of those weeks had an update pause. So even if Cloud Robot had or Borat Borat claimed some TP, they wouldn't be applied until this weekend, and the stats haven't been updated
Ooh,
yet.
So
I think the 350 TP is a bit
misleading.
and as well as for Bohum in the last pick, I think the TP might be a bit misleading. That's the word I'm looking for. Misleading compared to
Yep.
what the real life earning has been. But Borat played 5 games for Stockholm, and during those 5 games, they managed 65 defensive actions. That's more than 10 a game. Really, really impactful presence on the field, it looks like. So Schwarzwälder will get a defender for the next season.
1, 2, 3. Actually, no, we're far past dry.
We're on. I can't count that far in German. We're on 10.
Yeah.
Sieben.
Something. Who
Yeah,
knows?
something else. I don't know. Moving on to pick number 11, we have Hollywood with their first pick of this draft. Hollywood and their minor league affiliate, Kapstadt. And they select Lachlan Martinez, central attacking midfielder. Lachlan is I don't know if Lachlan is a what or if it's just is Australian maybe, because I know the user is Australian.
Lachlan is. I'm pretty sure Lachlan would be an Australian name.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
A
that's
recreate.
what Irish.
Sorry.
Either Aussie or Irish.
Yeah, I know the user is Australian, and I know the player that created is Australian. Was it Argentinian? I forget. But no matter, the user has been in the league before. Didn't really make an impact with their previous player, Lachlan Martin. But Lachlan Martinez is going to have a much better chance at making an impact.
A bit of flat coming around with Martinez, I'd say. I was unbalanced with their start: 12 driven in, 12 touch, and 12 long shot. Wait, long shot. And seeing that they have cut inside from both wings, I'm pretty sure that Lachlan will be staying up front, being able to
Yeah.
cycle between the two sides. But I'd say that having Lachlan in the center, like, unfortunately not to get any goals, but at the same time it'll be rather fun to see a goal scoring number 10. I think that's something that would be really valued, and well, I would say he'd be looking to get, that your teams would be looking to get.
Yeah, and I think the appearances that they made for Medellin in the academy, I don't know if they were placed in the best position to score tactic wise, because Medellin had so many midfielders already, and Martinez just slotted in on top of everyone else. Um, yeah,
Ooh.
might not have been the best tactics for Martinez to show what they are made of, but I think with Hollywood or with Kapstad, they will definitely be given an opportunity to link up with a lot of the proficient strikers and a lot of the wingers that Hollywood and Kapstad has in their current roster. So very good pickup for Hollywood, and Martinez definitely has some potential to be a, like you said, a goal scoring number 10.
Mm-hmm.
The traits and the abilities that they have right now. Moving on to pick number 12, we have Buenos Aires coming in with their second pick this draft, and they select a central defender, Santiago Teixeira.
Yep, we Santiago Teixeira, use a bottomless as well with a center back. 17 strength, 16 jumping reach, 15 pace. Pretty extreme to start out with, but it did do them pretty big in the minor. Well, in the Prospect League. 16 appearances, 7.8 average rating. Oh, what's not to love with that build? And the user is active as well. Bartimeus with 428 TPE, and has been around here before, if I remember right.
I think they've been around, but I don't think they ever created before Xera now. Um,
Oh,
I think they messaged me about a year ago, like I'm interested to join, but then never get around to it. But now they actually pull the trigger and joined. It's great to see Bartimeus now in the league here. And you mentioned before the unbalanced build and like 7.84 as an average rating. That's very impressive. I mentioned it earlier in the stream that anything above 7 or around 7 is usually considered a good game. And if you get an average rating on overall over 16 appearances, that's close to 8. I mean, no wonder Meadowland got off or won the league, and Brickwall managed to lead the league in clean sheets. If you have Santiago Teixeira in front of them with 360 defensive actions, I mean, this is insane. How good of a defensive player this has been in the academy. Um,
what a wall!
yeah, yeah.
But
So
uh,
hopefully this can transition into the minor leagues and major leagues as well. But definitely a wall in front of a wall. Um, the defense here for Meadowland last season.
potentially the hidden boss, the hidden
Yes,
gem in this draft, really.
yes, for sure. Pick number 13 is up, and we have Hollywood making their second selection. And for that, we need to switch scenes here because I can't apparently have a slideshow with more than 12 pictures, apparently.
Like, look, Buenos Aires is a beautiful place as well, though.
It is, it is. And pick number 13, Hollywood selects Lorenzo Vukovic, the user Dorre, with multiple R's. Another attacking midfielder joining Martinez that played central, and Vukovic is now left attacking.
Mm-hmm. Um, get a bit of a thing here, but I think it's clear that obviously with the first one being plenty of center mids, with those being taken, now the eyes all down on wingers potentials. Vukovic with 20 dribbling, 15 acceleration, and 15 agility. Obviously send out their peak points of already, but they're gonna have to be very very interested in how they're balanced. And six appearance as well. The average rating of 7.13 is pretty good as well. 2 goals and wait, hold on, 4 char and 9 DFA.
Yeah, four chances created and 9 defensive actions.
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
defensive actions.
and
That's actually interesting to see.
yeah, but like I mentioned before, we saw, for instance, Del Pirlo with around 60 defensive actions as a central attacking midfielder. It counts key headers, and I believe that key headers in the offensive end is also counted towards that calculation. There's no way to distinguish if it's a key header in an offensive position or if it's a key header in a defensive position. Um, so maybe that's a reason why the defensive actions are 9 in this case. But I want to
Okay.
mention, I mentioned earlier that Sami Buhum, when they joined Atletico Medellin, they had a very uh, successful start. Vukovic as well. I believe they had 1 goal and an assist in their first game as well. Buhum on the left side, Vukovic on the right side, and then with Martinez in the middle. That central attacking line, I mean, they were dangerous to say the least in the final 6 games here of the academy. And I mean, 2 goals, 4 chances. I believe at least 2 of them ended up as assists for Medellin as well. So Vukovic really really knew how to play on the right side, even though they're a left attacking midfielder here. And with the dribbling and acceleration, very technical type of player. That's definitely going to break some ankles, I think, in the SSL.
Please, not too many. We can't exactly deal with injuries.
Fortunately, we just reset all the injuries, but in the game we can't do that. But yeah,
Well, let's just say we have the best medical field, but let's give
yeah,
them a little bit of a break.
yes. Pick number 14 is a pass. Pick number 15 is a forfeit due to a punishment given out, I believe, 2 seasons ago. And we are at pick number 16 now with Tokyo and their second pick of the draft. And Tokyo selects Olafur Gunnleifsson, the second goalkeeper in this pool, and the user Jart Y. Unfortunately, I think the user went inactive because I haven't seen them in the SSL Discord in a while. But a goalkeeper nonetheless to help mitigate some regressions that are happening in Tokyo and Cairo. I believe Cairo is the one that's impacted.
Yeah, Cairo getting some help would be very nice. And well, seeing that they drafted this, I say still no harm in going over what they have as well. 14 concentration, position, and area, command of area is still pretty nice for a goalie as young as Gunnleifsson is, and two, well, 429 TP as well. 429 TP is also pretty good coming into this draft as well. So you can see why Tokyo has considered Gunnleifsson for Cairo being that potential aid down for them.
Yes, and like I mentioned before, goalkeeper statistics haven't really been implemented in the academy summary that I have here in the pick chart. But 7.04 average rating over 13 appearances for Stockholm, and made some very nice saves leading up to the battle for the win in the final games here of the season. Was unfortunate that it didn't lead to Stockholm beating. I think they became third out of the 3 teams that were within like 3 points of each other leading up to the final match day. And Gunnleifsson was a big part of that. So hopefully they come back. The user JartY comes back to bring some activity back to Gunnleifsson. And we are at the final pick of the draft, actually. We are at pick number 17. So the first pick of the third round. And that's Catalonia again coming in with their third pick of the draft. And they select the overager Nicolas Guerri. So we have a system in place that if a player is not signed by a team during after being drafted for any reason, they get brought back into the draft pool and are eligible to be selected again in the next draft. And Nicolas Guerri has been one of those players.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You can see as well that that Guerri has been putting in the effort even as an overager. 5-3-1 TPA for the right side attacking mid. Very good, and always lovely to see as well.
Yeah, so has been continuing to earn during last season. And the academy stats here, that's from 2 seasons ago, but definitely has a bank, I believe, of TPE that they can allocate. I don't think that the acceleration, agility, and crossing, the attributes should be more than 12 with the 500 TP available to them if they have actually allocated TP. But definitely a user that has been sticking around. So hopefully Catalunya can bring some more can sign them and bring some playing time to them. They can see themselves develop on the field as well.
Very much so. And well, I I think that pick as well. Is it the end of the draft?
Yes, that is the end of the draft. Let's see if I can get back the summary here. There we go. Now we have the summary of the draft here with the remaining passes that we have. It was a quick draft or a quick presentation this time around. No 2 hours that we're sitting here. But I think
Oh,
the teams has made a very good made it very efficient to present this type of draft in this way with the offline portion and now the live presentation.
those 2 hours. Oh, I think one of them was one of those drafts was 3 hours. You remember that?
Yeah, um,
Oh
those were the days. Hopefully, or we can refrain from going back there for the
no,
foreseeable future.
no. I want them back if it means that we get plenty of players coming in.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I was referring more towards the live aspect of the picks, the managers making picks live during the draft.
Okay, now that one is fair enough. Oh,
Yeah,
that one I can understand.
yeah. That part we can do it if we have to, but I think this type of draft system has been very useful for us, both in terms of production and for the managers as well.
Right,
But
indeed.
17 picks, no, sorry, 15 picks have been made in the prospect draft. Do you see anything in the draft board that that you want to comment on before we wrap things up?
Hmm. Interesting you passing the floor to me. But yeah, pretty much I can't say too much other than what I've noted earlier in terms of this draft will probably be for the center midfielders as well. This will be the draft that will change quite a lot, and GMs are taking pretty heavy note of it as well. Lots of S1s, S2s that will be taking the final hurrahs, but so much more coming in means that there's plenty of potential that we'll be looking to see soon, and I'm always down for that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And we're going to see. So the next season of the league isn't starting for just under a month. So January 8th is the preliminary start date for the S13 season.
Mm.
Yes, S13 season. With the
Remind.
transition to Football Manager 2024. Uh, and that's going to be a change. That's definitely going to be a change. So let's see. We're going to see how that will affect things. But in the meantime, and I want you everyone listening and everyone watching this back, to be on the lookout on the forum in the next couple of days because we're going to announce brands and kits as well as the starting rosters for the World Simulation Football Classic. That's what we're calling it. The SSL version of the World Cup. So you've seen some announcements earlier, and I just presented a list of essentially all of the players for each of the federations. But right now, we're working on making them a bit more aesthetically pleasing to look at, and maybe a bit easier to see which federations, if you're an American player, for instance, you have the ability to transfer because the US can actually field, I believe, two full rosters of players, whereas all of the other federations have some slots available with inactive players or even no players at all. So hopefully with these graphics that we're going to announce soon or tomorrow, starting tomorrow, you'll be able to see where you would be able to fit in, or if you wanted to transfer for this tournament. So be on the lookout for that. Otherwise, I think it's about time to wrap things up. Congratulations to all of the S13 players who have been drafted. Good luck in the World Simulation Football Classic, and good luck in the S13 League starting in January.
And of course, enjoy your Christmas as well. For all GMs out there, hope you all take care. Hope you all figure out FM24. I can tell you right now, on the other side, it is gonna be one fun. It's gonna be one fun sim there.
Yeah, yeah.
I could probably say that's why I've been away for so long. I've been training FM24.
Good to get ahead a bit prior to when we're starting.
Indeed.
But
yeah,
on that note,
yep.
sorry.
On that note, I think that will be it from us. Actually, no, you take it away. Kind of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that note, we're going to end the stream here. Congratulations once again. Good luck in the upcoming games, and we'll see you somewhere around the internet in the future.
Indeed. Take
Bye.
care.